In this video, we're going to talk about how to subtract a negative number. And first, I'm going to show you the mechanics of it. Mechanically, it's very easy to do. We're going to start with 4 minus negative 3, or 4 minus minus 3. And see how these two minus signs are right next to each other? There's nothing at all between us. There's a minus and there's a minus sign. When you see that, the two minus signs become a plus sign. You get 4 plus 3, and that's 7. And the mechanics of that, the way to actually do it is nothing too hard about that. And I want to show you how it's a little bit different from something like this. Here I have negative 4 minus 3. That's just like if it was negative 4 degrees outside, and then it got 3 degrees colder. The new temperature, it would be negative 7 degrees. It would be even colder, right? Or to use an example of digging a hole, if you have a 4-foot deep hole and you dig 3 feet deeper, now you have a 7-foot deep hole. Now, why doesn't it become a positive? Well, because the negative signs are not right next, have to be right next to each other. If the negative signs are right next to each other, you get a positive. So minus minus like this gets you a positive. Here, the negative signs are not right next to each other, so that doesn't become a positive. They have to be actually right next to each other. So that is why it works, but I want to talk about that's how to do it. Let's talk about why that actually works, though. So here we have the ground, and we've dug a hole in it, and this hole is, say, 5 feet deep. In other words, the height is negative 5. Let's say you wanted to get rid of that hole. What would you do? How would you get rid of the negative 5? Well, you'd probably fill in dirt, right? So you would add, 5 feet deep of dirt into here. So if I wanted to do that, I would say if I want to get rid of the negative 5, I would do negative 5 minus negative 5. Minus just means to get rid of something. If you have a donkey with a hat and you minus the hat, you're just getting rid of the hat. So in this case, I'm just trying to get rid of the hole. I'm trying to get rid of the negative 5. And so if I do negative 5 minus negative 5, I should get rid of the hole. And what that means is I'm going to fill in the hole. See what I mean? I'm just going to fill in the hole here. And if I do that, if I fill in the hole with the right amount, with the exact amount, I'm going to just be back to ground level. So minus 5 minus negative 5, or negative 5 minus negative 5, it's just 0. Because subtracting a negative is just like filling in a hole. It's getting rid of a hole. Now, let's say I don't have that much dirt, right? I'm going to do negative 5. Instead of negative 5 minus negative 5, I'm going to do negative 5 minus negative 4. That means I only have enough dirt to fill in this much. Not all the way to the top, just up to here. And what's the result going to be? Well, you still have a little bit of a hole, but not as much of a hole. It's only 1 foot deep, and so the depth of the hole now is negative 1. Now let's say I start with a hole that's 5 feet deep, or negative 5 feet tall, and this time I'm going to put enough dirt to get rid of a 6 foot deep hole. So I'm actually going to get rid of more than the hole that I have. So I'm going to fill in this hole. And then guess what? I'm going to keep on filling in. And see what's happened here? Now it's a positive 1 foot high mound. I started with a 5 foot deep hole. It's negative 5 feet tall. I added enough dirt to get rid of a 6 foot deep hole. So I subtracted negative 6. So I subtracted I did more negative subtraction, and the result was that I actually filled in more than I had. So I got a positive 1. And we can see that. Like if we remember that in minus makes a positive, let's think about that. Negative 5 plus 6. And what does that mean? It basically means that it would be just as if the temperature was negative 5 degrees outside, and we increased it by 6 degrees, it would be 1 degree. Or if something is negative 5 is 5 feet underground, we bring it up 6 feet. Now it's 1 foot over ground, and that's the reason that you can subtract a negative by making a minus minus into a plus.